Let's charge on. It's time to progress.
Oh, it's you, Meteor. I'm sorry. I don't have anything to teach you. If I ever did it all, you're far better off training under Chichito. You'll find her over yonder. Just leave me be.
I went and leveled so that you'd tell me off? No, sir. No. It's not okay. I was so hopeful that seeing you improve in leaps and bounds would spur Master Heyman out of his doldrums. Seems even more must be done. Perhaps the end result is not so important as the manner in which you get there. In other words, if you were to train precisely as Master Heyman once did, overcome the self-same challenges he did in his youth, I dare say it would stoke fires of his fighting spirit. Listen well, Meteor. Master once told me that he used to refine his combinations by provoking deadly creatures into unleashing their fury upon him. For this purpose, he often went to the southern part of Drybone to fight the hornet clouds there. To this day, tree trunks that he struck to stir the Vilkin from their hives bear the mark of his fists. I want you to seek out those trees and do as Master Heyman once did. Strike them with a Bootshine combo. Fight the hornet clouds that emerge. Once you've felled enough of the creatures to collect 3 of their stingers, that should be 3 of them, return here and present them to Master Heyman. They'll remind him of better days, I'm sure of it. Can you imagine being good enough at boxing to kill a hornet? A cloud of hornets? Releasing a fury of fists, each one taking out 1 or more hornets. I mean, it would be incredible. I love being able to fly. This is so nice. And then I assume that I'll have that. I'll have that for the majority of each expansion, right? Because I'll do the MSQ first. Here we go. So, it said these trees are marked with his fist. Did they actually take time to update the tree sprite? It doesn't look like it. There's no mark on these trees. That's disappointing. That would have been a nice touch. Alright. I've got hornet clouds. It's go time. Such power. It would be amazing. Can I not summon another one? Oh, there they are. Hey, guys. Where's that buff going? Oh, down in my bottom right. My UI is set up so that it lets us focus on story as much as possible, which means that like everything is tucked down on the bottom half of the screen. Oh, I'm at 89. My Omni's on the screen. I didn't realize that. Can turn that off, but since we're not working on my main, we'll work on it again next week. Hopefully get down to like 80, maybe 70. My original hope was to be at Omni 90 before 6.1. Now it's 6.2. I'm really not that worried about not being there in time for 6.15 because 6.15 is side content. So like having jobs above 80 so that they can take advantage of Arxidara might be a reasonable goal. I should be Omni 80 before 6.15 drops because I only have a couple of jobs left that aren't. Dragoon and Reaper are at 77, both of them. And then I'm at like 80 or 78 or 79 on Ninja. So I'm really close. Alright. I got the stingers. Let's hop back in. 6.2 should be August. But 6.15, the Arxidara will kick in June.
So I should have no trouble being all 80s by then. I don't think I'll be all 90s. I think I'll get to do some Arxidara for leveling, which will be great. Like, it'll level you so fast. I should easily beat August.
Oh, what is it now? Can't you leave a feeble old man in peace?
I was told to get 3 of these, and I brought you 6 stingers.
Those balls! These are hornet stingers. You trained as I once did out in Drybone? Those hornet clouds were pesky boogers. I fair lost count of the times they stung me, though I remember places well enough. The pain was nigh unbearable, but I always stood my ground. Ah, the memories of my younger days come flooding back. What I wouldn't give to relive them. Mir, I want you to fight me. Right here, right now. Make me remember what it's like to be young again. To have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Are we really going to beat up the old man? I watched him get beat up by a marmot. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea.
Ready or not, here I come. Make me feel good, Meteor.
Okay.
Oh, that'll leave a bruise.
Dude. Now I gotta fight you again?
Yeah, it's starting to come back to me.
I don't think so.
You won't have this round so easily, Meteor. There's nothing stopping Holy Fist.
I mean, I'm gonna stop you.
I can't bear to watch.
You probably shouldn't. I'm murdering an old man in his guild right now.
Oh, have you no respect for the elderly?
No. None.
Yes, my strength returns. Come on, let's go one more round. My memories of genocide and Kakirin are coming back to me.
Again?
Get ready to feel the power of the 8 Moon Holy Fist.
I don't think this is a good idea.
I'm just getting started.
Are you?
More, Meteor. Give me more.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I feel so alive.
Do you? Pretty sure I could go to jail for this. Repeatedly beating up an old man. Oh, I hope he's wearing a mouth guard.
Gods, I haven't felt this invigorated since forever. Why, when I'm fighting you, it's as good as I'm fighting my younger self. Mayhap there's still hope for these old bones, broken as they may be. I'll make my comeback yet. See if I don't. Bone density is in the mind.
No, it's not.
What are you doing here, old man? Learning how to walk?
You're Wegfair White Axe. Ain't none called me that in ages. Nay, not since the day you defeated me on the Bloodsands. I gave up prize fighting after that for humiliation. But it weren't long till I found a place in the Alacran. Your boy Rakuda works for me now. Imagine my surprise when I learned he used to train right under the mighty Holy Fist. But Holy Fist ain't nothing but a name these days, so I'm told. How do you sleep at night knowing how flaccid you become?
Flaccid? That's your word choice?
Of course, after you have trouble nodding off, you could always try to whiff a somnus. We'll even give you a complimentary sample. Like as not, a doddering old sort like you won't ever wake up again. Shut your mouth, Wagfair, or I'll shut it for you. I can be flaccid any time I want. Now, let's be civilized a moment, eh? We're old friends, after all. Friends help each other out. You mentioned making a comeback just now. If you're serious about it, I'd be glad to lend a helping hand.
Are we still talking about flaccid?
By way of motivating you, how about we have us a rematch? Of course, it'd take place in public, just like old times. Oh, and there should be a fitting purse as well. Let's say, winner gets the Pugilist Guild.
What? That's ridiculous. Master, you're not obliged to take him up on this.
Oh, this must be your little nursemaid. Rest assured, after I've taken over the guild, I'll keep her on as me personal assistant.
You really mean to fight him?
Have no fear, Chikudo.
Master.
Meteor, I don't mean to put undue pressure on you, but the fate of the guild rests on your shoulders.
I don't believe this. This is getting ridiculous.
Listen to me, Chikudo. I know I can do this. I just need Meteor to keep up getting stronger. He's been doing so far. Fighting him reminds me of who I used to be. I'm confident I can be that man again.
That is not how aging works. That is not at all how that works. This is a terrible idea.
You're feeling apprehensive about this rematch business. I don't blame you. I'm not blind to reality. If I were to face Wakefair as I am now, I'd be down for the count no matter heartbeats. Not lying in a pool of my own blood. But I'm determined to win, and I can, with your help. Your presence sets my fighting spirit to raging, Meteor. So keep at your training. I promise to do the same. When you've grown stronger, return here and we'll both continue our lessons. I'm gonna take a nap.
I think that if I'm training, you should be training. I don't think that you have time to just sit around and wait for me to train. I think you should probably be training regardless of if I'm training. Alright, so I got a new weapon. Update. Look at that. Okay. I'm supposed to train for a bit. Have like a fighting montage. There we go. I'm ready. I did a lap around the map.
I swear each time I see you remind me more and more of my younger self. At this rate, you're like to transform into a handsome devil before the moon's over.
I don't know that calling a Roth makes me feel like I look like a werewolf to you.
Now then, I believe you're here to learn. Unfortunately, I'm in no condition to teach. It's rather embarrassing to admit, but my eagerness to prepare for the big rematch, I've overtrained and I've thrown my back out.
You haven't moved. You've been standing here.
I tell you, old age is hell's. I fear Chichudo will have to tend to you in my stead.
How could you have thrown your back out? I literally went there and back. I didn't leave the room. Immersion broken.
It seems the prospect of facing his old rival has lit a veritable fire under Master Hammond's backside. I am so relieved to see that he has purpose again. The trick now is to keep a lid on his zeal lest he injure himself. But let us speak of your lesson. When you're ready, come and meet me at Little Almigo. A challenge in mind you're certain to find stimulating.
A lot of innuendo in this quest line. Look, when you get old, you can hurt your back from anything. I was standing there watching this other guy do a lap around this room, and then I just couldn't even move. Just hold back, locked up. Alright. Is she inside? Outside? Outside? Okay. Hello.
I've been waiting for you, Meteor. Today your training will be to prepare for Master Haven's training. I brought with me a set of striking dummies, and I want you to deploy them at certain locations. Lest you think this task to be drudgery, the locations are rife with peril. Your skills will most certainly be put to the test. By way of advice, if you must approach dangerous fiends, lightness of foot is your greatest ally. Off with you now, Meteor. Go set up those striking dummies. I'll just wait around.
Yeah, this seems like something you could have done. I don't really know. Maybe because I have a flying motorcycle, she thought that I would just get it done faster? The fighting motorcycle is nice. You know, like the flying motorcycle, not fighting. Alright, striking dummy 1. Wait. I was too quick on my feet. She warned me of that. Don't be too quick. The dummy won't appear. Alright. Onward. Should be able to loop all the way back around. Yeah, this would have been a real pain back in the day. Especially to do without a mount. I don't think you can get to this point without a mount. What time do you get a mount? 20? Yeah, you're 25 at this point. So you should have a mount. But still. This is not great. Oh. Your shoulder's bothering you and you have no idea why. It's funny that, like, but it was so quick. Heyman is so old. He hurt your shoulder. Just watching him. You just watch this old man stuff and you're like, wow, I just realized I did not sleep well. Wait, where is this? Oh. Oh, it's not on top. It's below. There's a cave. Cave? Cave. Right here. Yeah, this doesn't seem like a safe place to be putting target dummies. Corpse Brigade Fire Dancer. What part of this does... Why does there need to be a target dummy here? This would have been really hard to get to had I not been able to fly. Like, huge pain. That guy was casting Paralyze. I mean, I was going to leg sweep it, but still. Carry on. That would have been really tough to get to. Is this not the exit? Oh, there it is. I was like, I swear I just spun 360 degrees and never found an exit. That's the idea? So it's not actually the target dummies. The target is the target dummies. Why does that wheel spin? So it doesn't spin when I'm just loose, right? So it's not spinning with the wind, because otherwise when a breeze blew by, you would get rotation. But if I spin, it spins. Or if I move. That's so weird. Does it spin at the same speed as it does on the ground? Yes, it's an identical animation. That's what it is. That's disappointing. Alright. Charge on. Looking for somewhere to place a target dummy. Here seems good. Last one. And we're off. Easy peasy. I feel like you could have at least done that one in the time I did the other three. You know? Help me out a little.
Excellent work, Meteor. Now all that's left is to have Master Aemon come and train. What are you doing here? An adventure is a negative influence on Master Aemon. I'm going to see to it that he never bothers him again. What are you talking about? Meteor's the best thing that's happened to Master in years. If you want a piece of him, you'll need to deal with me too.
My god. And I still don't have AoE? Seriously? How could we not have AoE? I don't have a ranged attack. I don't have AoE. They call this like superior fighting style that we would absorb all the other fighting styles, but you're telling me nobody found a way? Ridiculous. He's level 40. He's a man. He's 40. You guys remember that quote circulating the internet? There's a OSU coach. Like, the actual story is not that funny. The actual story is really nice. The press was kind of giving his players a hard time. And he got really mad. And he said the press shouldn't be picking on or giving players a hard time. They should be focused on people that can, like, defend themselves, right? Like, pick on a man. He's a man. He's 40. Instead of focusing on these 18-year-old kids. But that's not how quotes work. Instead, it was just this clip that kept getting shared. I'm a man. I'm 40. Which became meme-worthy immediately. Alright. Urakudu.
Bassett? Where'd you find that thing? Creature will sap your strength.
Yep. Are they saying those things in general? Yeah.
Avoid its gaze. Oh, you've grown strong, Rokuda.
Oh. She killed him. She killed him. Her childhood friend is dead. We've all been there. Had to box our childhood friend to the death later while he attacked our newfound friends with giant cats.
Why, Rokuda, why are you so bent on bringing down Master Aemon and seeing the guild in ruins? You'll have it all wrong. I'm doing this for the Master's own sake. It's true, I left guild for the shock of seeing the Master in that pathetic state. And it's true, I got involved with some unsavory types. But where else was I supposed to go? Me, a refugee, without a guild to his name. But for all the ungrateful things I've done, I have never forgotten how Master Aemon took me in and instructed me in the ways of the fist. That's why I want him to give up his foolish notion of facing Wakefare. You don't know that man like I do, Chikudo. Should this fight come to pass, I fear Master won't walk away with his life. It doesn't matter that Master has grown weak and feeble. I just want him to live. Even if that means him having to swallow his pride. Oh, Rokuda, why didn't you just say so? Now that I know you're mine, I could say with confidence that I have no cause to fear. Meteor's not the plague you think he is. It's his will to succeed that's inspired Master to regain his former strength. And when the day of the rematch finally comes, I have no doubt that he'll wallop that odious Wakefare to the 7,000 back. I pray you're right, but whatever happens, know that I cannot help you. Not where I am, Chichudo. Here I leave Master Aemon in your care. That felt liberating. Trading blows with Ruakuda and learning his true agenda. A great burden's been lifted off my chest. Let us return to the guild, Meteor. You've had your training, and now it's time for Master Eamon's. Okay. Farmer Girl, how are you? I see a couple people coming in and enjoying story time. This is going to be all week, Monday through Thursday. All of this will be broken into episodes to be uploaded over to Gaming Lore Kinda. So for anybody that misses any of it and wants to catch back up, maybe there's a certain class quest that you saw the beginning to or the end to and you want to see the rest of it, it's all being put into different playlists and stuff and pushed out at 2 episodes per day over there, so we'll be set for a long time. And then I'm going to do this every 4th week. So we'll do normal gameplay weeks every other week, and then in between we'll do story weeks. This will be every other story week. Because I still want other story weeks to, like, I'd love to go do the role quest in Endwalker. I'd love to get to know the story of Guild Wars 2. I'm interested in the story of WoW. I played WoW for like 15 years, and I've been told that I don't know anything about anything with story. And so my thought is, well, then fix it. So, I don't know what the in-between weeks are going to be. Alright, Eamon. You ready? How's your back feeling?
Welcome back, Meteor. I'm told you kindly set up some dummies for me. But God's man, you have to put them in such dangerous places. Make matters worse, Chichudo's hidden my grog. Says I won't see a drop of it till I finish training. How the hells am I supposed to loosen my phlegm now? That girl will make a fine guildmaster when the time comes. I heard about Rurakuda as well. For all his shortcomings, boy has a good heart. Now, while his concern is touching, I won't run from Wayfarer. Not today, not ever. On that note, I best get ready for my little jaunt with little Amigo. If I can't face down a few mindless beasts, I'm in no shape to challenge Wayfarer. Don't slack off, Meteor. I'll leave you in my dusty wake.
Mindless beasts? Some of those are people. Do you seriously murder so loosely that you don't care if it's a wasp or a Kakiran or a human? My God. Ridiculous. Okay, so now I need to be level 30. Back to leveling. Do I like my class gauge to be in the center? This? What I actually prefer is for it to be simple mode. And let's just go put it out of the way for now. On my main, I actually prefer things in the dead center. So that when I'm looking at my character to stay out of ground effects, all that other information is right there. But I've been keeping everything kind of down in center. So that the top 2/3 of my screen, everything above my head is left clean for story. The story in WoW is hard to follow. They've changed how you play through every expansion. As a new player, you're best to learn through YouTube. Yes, the problem is with YouTube. So YouTube's a great way of getting into things. As a full-time content creator, I appreciate that it's an opportunity. Yes, absolutely, it's awesome. The problem is that anytime you're dropping to a summary, whether it be the old school like Spark Notes, or you're reading an abridged version of a book, or you are watching a YouTube summary video, the problem is that you are inherently limiting your information to partial information. From the very get-go, the only way it can fit into less space is they had to trim things. And so if you want to know lore better, right? To know that, like, Haemon's an old man that was just murdering things mindlessly. If you're summing up Final Fantasy, that has to get cut for time. So if you want to know all that stuff, you have to go do all of it. And so I've wondered, like, how do I... So I played WoW from vanilla to I quit at the end of Pandaria. I missed Warlords of Draenor. I came back in Legion, and I quit in the middle of Shadowlands when they made it really hard to support their game. If I want to know WoW lore, why is playing for a decade not good enough? How do I get to know lore? It's so frustrating. So I thought about... I just want to know more about the world. I'm not necessarily that worried about, like, the big story notes. Everything I hear from people tells me those are just going to disappoint me anyway. Like, if I really get to know the story of Sylvanas, which, like, I remember Sylvanas running dungeons with us, like, in Wrath of the Lich King. So if you really want to get to know the full story of Sylvanas and all the tragedy that befell her life and, like, how she became who she is and then why she ultimately fell into her relationship with the, you know, this whole mess in Shadowlands and all that, like, that's fine. But then what happens is it's so based on, like, a handful of people that if, like, Sylvanas is not handled the way you want it to be handled, then you're just mad. And so you end up with lore that's really based around these characters, and a lot of it gets resolved in-game through, like, raids. So in raids, everybody has to die. And so if somebody builds themselves up to the point of being a raid boss, then it just ends that way. So story-wise, like, it can only be done so well. So they go hide it off in books, but I don't like reading. That's one of the reasons I enjoy video games. I understand there's people who like reading and like video games, but, like, one of the joys I get about video games is it's a form of media I can consume without a lot of reading. So, but I'd love to know more about just the world, just the general world, and I do wonder if the game has enough of that nested inside quests. So if I go do every single quest in the Barrens, do I have a general feeling of what the conflict is in the Barrens at that kind of snapshot in time? I mean, it is stuck with a snapshot of time because that's the nature of the way these games are made. But, like, the conflict between the Centaur and stuff, which I think is an interesting thing to know going into Dragonflight, because I do think I'm going to play Dragonflight. They haven't quite given me a reason, but everything they've done so far tells me I'm probably going to play it. And so if I end up playing Dragonflight, Dragonflight's going to go back and introduce us to, like, the Centaur before the Centaur of Azeroth. And so if I want to have more insight into who these Centaur are, it'd be interesting to know some more about the various Centaur tribes that are in WoW now. Right? So, I'm interested in maybe trying that out. Guild Wars is fully voiced. So I'm mostly just interested in getting to know more of the lore, but that should be a lot more just play it. I don't know how much, like, the stuff out, and they have so much story. I think the majority of the story would just be just play it. Alright. I need another giant tortoise. Was this where I killed that giant tortoise? I don't think I finished killing those wherever that was. No, that's way over here. These are just such good experience. Let's go hunt some tortoises. Some tortoises? I don't know, that's a weird word. So. I mean, and WoW wasn't built to be a story game. So, like, when people make fun of WoW for not having story, or they get frustrated with WoW for not having story, like, it was built to be a game that thrived mechanically. And so letting the writers do whatever they want to do out to the side is kind of like when your favorite YouTuber doesn't screen print their own t-shirts, right? They're like, hey, I want to make some t-shirts. So they go design a t-shirt and throw it on Teespring and let Teespring handle it. Like, lore wasn't the core driver behind the game. There was a general direction, like a reason we were killing things, but the act of killing was what was fun. But that means that as players got into a habit of not reading quests, you now have less and less reason to ever start writing good quests. And so you kind of create like a chicken and egg situation where, like, if players don't care about quest content, why make good quest content? If there's not good quest content, why care about good quest content? If you don't care about good quest content, why write good quest content? And it goes around and around and around in an endless circle. And so over the years, as they've had various writers try to truly care about the world, there are people that care a lot about the lore of WoW. They're stuck making this uphill battle mean, until, like, really recent history, that's how it would be to be a PvP designer in Final Fantasy. Somebody has that job, and they care deeply about that job, and they want to make PvP amazing. But they've been stuck in a position where, up until now, the majority of the player population hasn't cared about PvP, and so PvP has been limited in its resources, so very few people care about it. Alright, I'm going to head to northern Thanalan, and we're going to just power level this. Cerulean processing. They've been great at cutscenes. They really know how to build up enough story to justify a fight. The problem is that once you know that fight, you're like, okay, now what else? And it doesn't feel as well fleshed out in-game to back that up. Right? I think I can just kill this stuff with Chris, and this will power level me to 30. We'll get back to story here. Hopefully pick up my job stone. This has been a nice, slow and steady... I can't believe I was clearing a job stone and MSQ each day. Like, that is wild. Maybe we've just been distracted today, but it feels like it's taken me forever to get to this point.